Dr. Mika, it's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the Seychelles. Just before we start with the main questions, is it possible for you to introduce yourself and tell us about your professional background?
Yes, sure. So thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here in the Seychelles. My name is Dr. Claudia Mika. I am the founder and CEO of Temos International Healthcare Accreditation. This is a German-based international accreditation body accrediting hospitals, clinics, and rehabilitation centers worldwide. My personal background is that I started to do my PhD as a nutritional scientist, and then I changed the side, so to say, and introduced quality and quality management in healthcare to myself. I was involved in a project on the development of accreditation standards, and I found it so interesting and so good and helpful, so that I decided for myself to continue in this direction, and this is why I'm sitting here today as the CEO of this accreditation body.
Can you tell us a little bit about Temos worldwide as an organization and its regional office here in the Seychelles?
Mm-hmm. So, as I just said, we are an international accreditation body. The headquarters are located in Germany. We do have 18 offices worldwide, where one office is here in the Seychelles. We help hospitals, clinics, eye care centers, rehabilitation centers, and medical tourism facilitators to optimize and improve their services with our standards. So we have dedicated, tailored accreditation programs for the different kinds of healthcare institutions. And with this, we try to optimize processes, to reduce costs, to increase patient safety, to increase the patient experience during the process of treatment. This is all covered by our standards. Regarding the region office here in Seychelles, Dr. Todorovic and we met around about 10 years ago, and we had the same feeling or the same approach to quality in healthcare. So it matched, so to say. And when he offered me to help us here in Seychelles, I immediately accepted, and I'm very happy that we have this cooperation partnership.
What are Temos International's relationships with ISQA and other systems, for example, those in the UK?
Mm-hmm. So ISQA is the International Society for Quality in Healthcare. This is the accreditation body where we can apply as an accreditation body for accreditation. It sounds a bit complicated, but this is the only international accreditation body where we can apply for accreditation. So we have been member with ISQA for many years, and in 2018 we decided also to apply to get accreditation for our medical and dental standards. So since 2019 we have accreditation of our standards. And the next level for us is to get accreditation for Temos as an organization, and also for our assessors training. So those people who do the inspections in the hospitals and clinics, they receive training from us. And this can be accredited by ISQA as well. So these are the 3 levels, and this is what we applied for, and which will be completed in hopefully April next year. So regarding other organizations, we do have an exclusive partnership with Diplomatic Council. This is a United Nations accredited think tank, and Diplomatic Council tries to bring together diplomacy and business. So with this exclusive partnership, Temos accredited organizations receive the status as a member with DC and receive an additional certificate that they are approved at as Diplomatic Council preferred partner hospitals. So this is a unique constellation, and which is much appreciated also by our accredited organizations. And you mentioned United Kingdom, so we have colleagues, or we had colleagues, I have to say, an accreditation body which is called QHA Trent. They had to close the business 2 years ago because of the pandemic. Since we have been within Europe always in a good cooperation, they ask us if we can take over the clients to continue accreditation with their clients, so to fill or not to have any gaps, or to fill the gaps between the closure of the business and to continue with accreditation. We do have a good network of health insurances. So this means nowadays where the payers are getting more and more important in the decision where patients should get good treatment, it's good to have a good relationship with insurances. So we have an interface from our database with the leading travel health and assistance company. So our data are directly going into this database. So whenever network partners of this insurance network need a hospital or clinic worldwide where they can refer patients to, then they can look in this database, see also the data of our Temos accredited partners, and then can refer the patients directly to the accredited partners. So these are just examples. I could continue, I think the time is limited now.
How do you see the role of and mission of Temos in Seychelles and in Africa in general as well?
I think here in Africa, and this includes Seychelles, we have still a lot of patients who seek treatment abroad. So they travel, what we call medical tourism, medical travel. They still travel to get treatment somewhere in the world. If we can increase the quality of the healthcare system here, this means that patients could stay here and don't need to travel to get the treatment abroad. So this is, I think, something where we would like to contribute with our accreditation standards, with consultancy, with training and education, so to increase the quality of the healthcare system, which keeps patients. And on the other side, for the future, you are well known as a touristic area and a very nice destination. So a next step could even be to work on the Seychelles as a medical travel destination. Once the quality is on international level, then perhaps there are people coming first for leisure, for travel, but then also to use the time here to get some treatments here in the country. So these are the two main points, I think, where we should focus on.
How do the standards and accreditation programs contribute to the quality of the health sector? And I know you mentioned some benefits earlier, but maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about the benefits.
Yeah. So I think what international accreditation or even national accreditation is helpful for to increase, as we said, the general quality. So this, to give you just some examples, we need to reduce the risk of incidents so that patients are harmed while they are treated in the organization. And standardized processes can help to reduce risk and can help to reduce incidents. So by having standardized processes, this means, and if we have the people trained and educated on how to do things, then we increase the quality. If we know what we need to measure and how we need to measure outcome, so that we can, based on these data, outcome data, can improve the processes and the systems again. So then we have, here and there some things where we can change to change the overall quality and to increase. So the more organizations go for standardized processes, the better for the whole system. And for the individual, let's say in the hospital or in the we need to see that they have different demands regarding accreditation. So if you take the financial officer, the chief financial officer, then he wants to save money. He has only the numbers and figures in front of him or her. So this means we have to give something. By standardizing the processes, you can reduce costs. If you have an accreditation, you can market this and you may be attractive. We have the insurance companies who are responsible for the payment, or if the patients pay out of the pocket, they look for high quality organizations. So the financial director needs numbers and figures which are in the right direction. The quality director is responsible for the outcome. So he needs to know, or she needs to know, how to measure, what to measure. And standardization and accreditation can help. The medical director needs to assure that malpractice cases, incidents are as low as possible. So he can sleep well if everything is okay. And this is by communication, by training, by education, using data. So from the different perspectives, they all need to come together. It's teamwork, and we have to meet these expectations, and we can meet these expectations with our accreditations.
How complex is the accreditation process, and how long does it take, and what's involved really?
So we start with an application process, which is available on our website. After the registration, we will then provide a quotation. If this is accepted, if the terms and conditions are accepted, we will start the formal process. And from there, it depends more on the organization than on us, because the organization has to prepare. So the more is already available, the better. Otherwise, I would say the average is between 6 and 12 months for the preparation time. And during this time, the hospital in the team prepares. We have some tools, a gap analysis, a self-evaluation. We know that sometimes the language of accreditation and standards is a bit difficult, although we all speak in English, but it's difficult. So we have, so to say, translated all our standards into questions. So to help the teams to prepare by answering questions. It's easier to say, do you have this and this, yes or no, or to work on a standard directly. So we have some tools, and we do accompany the organization during the preparation. So once all this is done, then this has to be submitted. We do a technical review of the documents, and then 6 weeks later, after we have received the documents, then a team is coming and checking everything. So there's always a quality expert, it's always a medical doctor or a dentist or an embryologist, depending on the program. And if it's a bigger sized organization, we will have somebody from nursing or from laboratory, biomedical engineer in the team. Then between 2 and 5 days, 2 to 4 people are checking from top to down, left to right, everything. So we always do a complete organization. We cannot accredit different departments, or we cannot accredit individuals, because the patient needs to be safe in the complete environment. So we can't exclude radiology or laboratory. It's crucial for the patient overall treatment. So, and then once this is done, this visit on site is done, then the result is done. And it takes, as I said, 6 to 12 months. Can be faster, can take longer, depending on how many people can be involved also in preparation.
Reading about Temos, one thing that was interesting was that you don't take a one-size-fits-all approach. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, as I said in the beginning, we have tailored programs for different organizations. So for example, we don't offer only an ambulatory care program also for dental clinics or for reproductive care clinics. The dental clinics, they have specific hygienic needs, or we have some standards specifically for dental hygiene, the dental chair, the water lines, the laboratory, when the things are prepared. And another example would be reproductive care. In reproductive care, the IVF laboratory is very, very important. So if we only would apply the ambulatory care standards, there would be nothing about an IVF laboratory. So therefore, from our perspective, it's really important that we include those areas, those departments and units in the respective accreditation program, not only for us and for the patient, but also for the organization. They want to be included in such a process. So therefore, we developed, and we still developing other programs for the future to really have tailored programs which match, which fit to the organization's needs.
Do you have any indication that some private clinics in Seychelles will be having your accreditation program in place?
Oh yes, and I'm very much looking forward to starting the process here in Seychelles too, yes.
Dr. Mika, it's been a very insightful and interesting interview. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer our questions, and would like to wish you a remaining peaceful and enjoyable stay in Seychelles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.